Hi everyone. So continuing on upgrades to my Hobie Outback. Today's video is about upgrading the rudder. This is a metal rudder, aluminum rudder that's made by Snipe Air Industries. I'll include a link to their website, which is basically a replacement of the plastic rudder with a metal rudder. This is the standard size. I know they make one larger size, slightly longer, but the standard size will not impact, you know, the block that you put onto the back of the Hobie Outback to offload. The longer rudder apparently does impact that block fitting. Just for the record, I don't have any issues with this kayak steering. I mean, it turns on a dime. It performs beautifully. The only times I actually had a bit of a challenge was when I was in very strong winds. When my kayak is typically fully rigged, I do have a power pole with an 8.5 foot pole sticking out the back. Plus I have my crate, which carries about 9 rods. I find that in very heavy winds, that my back end of the kayak gets caught in the wind and there's a lot of push on the back end, and it has impacted the turning of the kayak. Now apparently the aluminum rudder makes turning of the kayak under all conditions 10 times better. I haven't tested it myself. There's a lot of YouTube videos about these upgrades and people have tested it and say it's working well. We're going to install this rudder. It's actually very simple to do, but I'm going to take you through it. And then come in the new year, when I'm back on the water, I'll actually do a separate video just to give you some sort of an idea of what I think and if I think it's a worthwhile upgrade. So with that said, let's get going. So just to look at what is in the package, it's the metal rudder, there's some discs, and then there's a screw. So we'll open up this package and then quickly see what it has. It's got a nice embossment there of the maker. It's a solid piece of aluminum. I can tell you it's nice and rigid. It's not going to bend. It's not very super heavy, so I don't think it's going to affect that much. And then what else comes in the package? I'll keep it in here for now. It looks like 2 discs and then 1 friction nut is also part of the package. And like I said, the company that makes this is Snipe Air Industries, and I'll include a link to their website so you can see for yourself if you're interested in one of these upgrades. So the standard rudder, before you take it apart, will look like this. It's mounted below. We'll have a look at it. It's spring loaded. So there's a spring inside here, and just as a comparison, you'll see that basically this rudder is almost identical to the standard plastic rudder. One of the things I did not mention at the start was, and I don't know if it's very visible on this blade is not 100% straight. The one that's on my kayak at the moment is straight. This one was a little bit buckled. I actually took a heat gun to this to actually form it a bit. So there was a little bit of an issue with tracking straight. I hope that this aluminum blade rudder would also fix that. So let's have a look underneath. That's the rudder when it's deployed. Like I mentioned, it is under tension, and the little rope that you see right there, that is basically the rope that lifts the rudder up and drops it back down. So the first step in taking the rudder off is to take out this screw. Now I want to just caution anybody, you are working with metal screws and a lot of plastic products on these kayaks. Be very careful using a power tool. You could strip stuff. I would recommend using a hand screwdriver, but I've done this before, so hopefully I won't mess this up. But all you do is you remove the screw, and what this will do is basically it unscrews from the shaft, and you'll now be able to pull this rudder out the bottom. So we've undone the screw at the top, and if you just pull on this, you'll see the rudder is loose and will come out. The only thing that's holding it in place is that rope, and there's a knot on that side. We have to undo that knot and the rudder will fall out. We've taken the rudder out like I showed, pulled it out, undid the knot, and now we have to undo the screw. Now remember, there's a spring in here. As soon as you undo this, it's going to want to pop out. And just remember how the spring goes in. It hooks into this hole, hooks into this little hole here, in there, and then you push it back in. So there you have it, the replacement blade. Now I now see where those other discs come in, that is supplied with this product. These two discs are basically going to be there sitting on either end of this blade. So you're going to have one disc on this side and one disc on this side. And then this will be the spacers for you to slide this back in. Sorry. When you slide this back in their side, then that will be it. So I'm going to try and put this all together. So I got it pushed in there. It's rightly lined up. It's a bit of a challenge. It's going to take a lot of playing around. What I suggest you do is basically put the screw through first, catch the first disc, then get the screw through to the second one and just line it up flush, and then slide the disc in and then get it through. So do it in stages like that. It's correct. You'll see it will be under tension, and now we just need to tighten this screw. But we don't want to over tighten it, because if you over tighten it, it's going to actually bind. So we just want to get it through, and this needs to be able to move freely. So if you are in the water and you had to hit something, it will come up, but it will deploy back down all by itself. And that is it. That is the blade installed. Looks nice. So to reinstall the blade, essentially this will just go straight up through there, and at the top we're going to put in the screw, and we're going to reattach this little rope which is used to pull the rudder back up. And this screw will just come in the top, and we will and that's it. Rudder's in place. Now I just have to tighten the rope, and then it should be done. So there we have it, installed. So when you pull the rudder cable here, rudder folds back up into its stowaway position, and when you release it, the rudder will drop down. Well, I hope that helps. Like I said, I haven't tried this new rudder. It's an upgrade that I'll test in the new year with the first time we're on the water. But I do like the construction. It's a solid, nice piece of aluminum. So it should crack through, and we'll have to see how well it does. Well, with that said, have a good one. Until next time.